Boom. You should all be able to hear us now. I say this every week with great confidence.
It's gravy time.
Oh, we got a host. Oh, the lovely Jed, thank you.
So don't get excited.
You know me. So, welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e tonight. We have some lovely new overlays this evening, so hopefully you'll enjoy them. They're made by the lovely Kelly. Kelly Jane Games, if you want to go see her on Twitch. Quite the talent, don't you know? So, if you've been before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. We're going to be rocking out some homebrew. Our campaign is called Fables Among Titans. We've been playing it for 2 months now. I think this is session 8 or 9. And we're rocking out some lovely times in the country of Ravenholm. We are... Just a bit about the channel, we do lots and lots of tabletops. We've got D&D on a Sunday, D&D on a Tuesday. We're starting a Vampire tomorrow for new people, which is run by the lovely Jade. We do Carbon 2185 on a Thursday, which is Cyberpunk, and we do Pathfinder on a Saturday. So if you're ever bored, boom, come and watch us. So, quickly, in the bottom left-hand corner of your thing, you will see a slideshow of folk that have contributed to the stream, our magazine, etc, etc, and it'll just go through and you can see some stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
Hopefully next week we will have some lovely little character stat blocks and stuff for you to see what classes the characters are, their names, races and stuff like this, so it'll be cool. We are sponsors for this show, our Ruffworx Creative, who you can go to Facebook and type exactly that into Facebook and it will bring you to their page. Check out their photo albums, you will get to see a very, very talented woodworker and leatherworker. We are also sponsored by Ashana. She is a WoW streamer, glass crafter, geologist, hiker. She's got a whole lot of stuff going on and is very, very entertaining to watch and go along on her little journeys. The biggest thing you want to watch her for, in my opinion, is her little glass craft that she does on a Friday, possibly a Tuesday. But yeah, she's you can go see her little dice protectors and such, which she will hopefully be sending our way to give out to you lovely folk. So yes. If you wish to follow us on social media, pick one and type in Heavyweight Gaming. You should be able to find us beneath the stream. There are buttons that you can just click and it'll take you straight there. So follow, like, subscribe, all that lovely gubbins. If you wish to support the channel, whether it be subscribing to Twitch itself or using your Amazon free subscription to gift to a channel, we'll have it. No problems. Absolutely no problems. If you go to Patreon, and again put Heavyweight Gaming in, you can throw a couple of dollars our way, or we obviously convert it to pounds, and we just pump it back in for artwork and such, and hopefully create a better stream and just make it look pretty while we're telling our stories. You will get a e-magazine called Arcane Script, which is written by myself and Robert, known as the Arcane himself. He may or may not be on this evening, but it is full of our homebrew world of Colossus, of the countries, the cultures, the religions, the magical and mythological items that the world's had. It's full of feats and subclasses, etc, etc. We're very proud of it and we want lots and lots of people to have it, but it takes a lot of our time, so it's greatly appreciated if you do subscribe and you get that monthly. So, on with the good stuff. You will have noticed that the lovely Kate is not with us this week. Fair enough, she's got stuff going on and she doesn't have time to play this evening. So we've given her a pass. Totally our decision. So yeah, so you won't be seeing the lovely Kate performing Griff tonight. So the accent may change of the Kenku 5 different times.
And all of them will be slightly farther West Country.
Don't worry, Elmer. Griff will definitely be dancing in every opportunity we could have. Where best to do it than a fair forest. So, last couple of weeks, this lot have been rocking around a city called Ebendorf. They were checking out who started a massive fire for the captain of the guard. They kind of got bounced around a few people. A dark elf named Gabriel, the Minotaur captain Berrimond. They were in and out of taverns. It was they kind of got stuck in something they were helping but didn't know why. I get a feeling that Dalefin made a promise and they were kind of like, okay, you helped us hit a purple worm, we won't kill you this time. As soon as the opportunity arose for Xandria and Co to leave, Xandria was gone. Phew! out the city. I mean, I'm not even sure the gates were open when she set off. They left Ebendorf, went out into the wilds of Ravenholm, and it is very well known that you should not stray from the path. They behaved a moment. They got to the edge of the forest. The forests in Ravenholm are vast, and there are pathways through them that have been made by those that live in Ravenholm, but the forests themselves do not get travelled by the native folk. It is stories of death and other jolly rainbow types. So, whilst they were chinwagging away, Kesvion decided to pull a spell out his ass that I'd forgot he had, and determined that his lovely sister Zandria had a mere aura of aberration within her soul. They had a bit of a chinwag about it, which was good, because Dalefin and his pals Ari and Griff turned up expecting to stab a demon. They had a bit of a chinwag, turns out it's not a demon. And then Culane the Lancelord, a knight of white and silver gold armour who Kesvion and Zandria are aware of, tipped up and basically said, "This way to my house," and showed them a portal to the Copper Forest. Ari, unfortunately, passed out. Because Ari's Omen, and omens in the Fey world, it's not a great experience. So, you are just before the portal, just about to enter it, I believe, unless you've all decided not to, with Ari passed out. Griff will immediately offer to carry Ari.
Just Kenku just dragging Ari by a leg.
Hey, that Kenku's hench, right?
Oh no, it is a hench Kenku. Oh yeah. But still.
So,
he's struggling the other way around, I feel.
Culane is stood there, large silver lance in hand, just gesturing towards the portal. Beyond the portal is just a vast, endless vision of a forest where the trees look to be, their bark looks to be the colour of copper.
Before we proceed ahead, Kess is going to say to Zandria, I think we should speak to Culane about our newfound knowledge before we head into the heart of the Copper Forest.
I completely agree with you. I am not certain what this aberration is, and we don't know its intentions, and I'm a little bit scared, I guess, that if I go into the Copper Forest, something bad might happen.
Are you whispering or talking?
Whispering.
Cool.
I was going to be talking, but no, whispering.
Whispering, I am not loud.
I am also now not loud. So he'll kind of just gesture ahead towards Culane, and kind of sort of take a step forward, but kind of sort of imply that I'll be with you on this, but
Okay.
I am gonna look at Culane. Forgive me, Lancelot, but there is something that I feel we should speak about rather urgently before we actually step foot into the Copper Forest.
Then speak.
We have recently discovered that there is a faint trace of aberration currently residing within me. Given that I have had a very peculiar dream regarding the oasis of Malgia, I'm not wanting to step foot into those realms unless I am 100% certain that whatever is inside me will not damage or harm the forest.
He stares at you for a moment, and he's not making eye contact with you, and you sort of look, try to see where he's actually looking. There is a warmth, and there is a fresh smell of acorns And Kesfion, you notice he cast the exact same spell you did ritually. There is no aberration upon your soul. I would sense it.
That face! That just been, like...
Forgive me, Lancelot, but my brother just... There's nothing at all. Are you certain?
Nothing.
I just look at Cass like, you're certain that what you saw within me was aberration, correct?
I would not make that assertion lightly.
You may try again if you wish, but I do not have a lot of time.
I can't cast it again until a long rest. Even though it's a ritual.
Okay, then if it is not being sensed by yourself, Lancelot, then I will proceed forward. But please do bear in mind that if at any point anything seems odd or bizarre with me, you let me know and you deal with it.
I will. Now, you come.
Yes, let us go. Before the humans of the city find their way here.
He steps through the portal, but you don't see him on the other side. It's not like he's now in the forest. You don't see him on the other side. What is the marching order going through? Carry on. What were you going to say, Kess?
Before we step through, Kess is going to like sort of duck down to Xandria and be like, I swear I definitely saw.
It's fine, brother. I trust that you wouldn't just randomly make stuff up, and if you say it was there and you heard a voice before, then there is something at play that is playing tricks on the others. Just keep an eye out, okay?
And then he'll stride on through.
Cool.
And Xandria will follow.
Cool. Daelfin, Ari, you're out cold. Griff just looks whilst holding Ari to Daelfin.
I'll just follow it and afterwards, trusting Griff can carry.
Cool. Ari, you don't have a choice. Griff steps through with the corpse, unconscious Ari.
You're corpsing.
Yeah. As you step through, it is like stepping through warm water without getting wet. On the other side, there is a small glade full of snowdrops. At the middle of this glade there is a piece of smooth stone jutting out from the ground. It juts out about 5 feet and is angled skyward. If you follow its gaze, there is a parting within the copper trees around you that don't reach in the canopy, as if it is pointing throughout past the trees themselves. There are small pixies and fairies, very tiny creatures of yellows and oranges, and they flutter about this glade. Kalain walks towards the stone, places the lance and just rests it against the tip of the lance against the tip of the stone, and it glows white. And there is a beam of light with a orange reddish hue to it that shoots skyward, and another portal appears. This time the exaggerated view that was the copper forest in the original portal is more realistic looking, like you can reach out and touch the bark, and the portal kind of tears in the material realm in front of you. It just peels away and you can now see this forest again. They are dark copper bark. There's very rustic colours to the trees and stuff. It lives up to its name, but you can tell this is a more real image of the forest you are stepping through, and less bright and shiny copper that the first one was. And he just nods towards the portal.
Step through again.
Yep.
Cool, you all follow through. This time there is no warm water feeling. You step through and it is a wet smell, very damp in the air. The trees about you are a very, very dark copper, dark reds, the dark browns. There is no glamour to these that makes you think it's a beautiful place to eat your picnic. You feel a little bit disorientated as you stand through, but when you come through the other side, you're in somewhat of a naturally made courtyard with tree root foundations, and the roots follow up into where trees have lost their leaves but then grown in certain angles that don't look like a tree would grow, almost like they've been manipulated, and there are people within them of humanoid shape, similar looking to Xandria, Daelfin, a little bit of Kess. They are of elven blood, it would seem, immediately to those that are unaware of the vast flavouring of Fey, but they do look pretty elven to be rocking around. They are, a couple of them come round to meet Colin, and they are dressed in long white gold chainmail. The rings are real tiny and really well woven. They have pauldrons and vambraces, and these helms that are very slick to their domes and closely fit, and it looks like they are made out of a substance called iron leaf, which is known to Kess, Dale and Xandria, but not to Ari or Griff. Ari, you actually wake up past the second portal in Griff's arms, and you can see these two elven-like warriors stood there with these curved glaives. They're not like 7-foot glaives, they're more 5-foot, half handle, half curved blade. And they stand there barefoot. They don't have boots or anything past the shin guard. They're just barefoot, and they come round to meet Colin. They speak Sylvan to one another. Do any of you speak Sylvan?
Yep.
Cool. So Ari and Xandria, you hear a conversation, and essentially the two guards are giving a strange report to Colin, speaking of areas of the Copper Forest that the humans have breached or nearly breached. There's a bit of confusion in how they're trying to word it to Colin. Colin doesn't seem to be, he doesn't break his wonderful persona. He nods, smiles, tells them to get more information. And by smiles, there's no movement on his face. You just assume. He turns. He notices Ari's awake. Stand. Griff puts you down. You're now all stood. He points like further back where you've come through into this courtyard, and you can see all these elves in very similar attire to this white gold chainmail and the vambraces and such. They look like heavy armoured rangers, but the way their armour's fashioned, despite its visual of heavy armour, it looks pretty lightweight. And they, a few of them just bugger off from sight after the commands that Colin gave to the other two. Where they go, you do not know. Past the courtyard, the path is an actually made path rather than walked so often, and the paving stones are clay, and you follow those clay paving stones, and it goes towards a very large, deep copper trunk that is as wide as some of the taverns and buildings that you've just left behind in Ebendorf. And there is a jade light that sort of flickers around it, like spirals up around this tree trunk, and it goes up and up. It's very awkward, is the tree, the way it's grown. It's not... That did not do what I wanted it to. It's a very awkward tree to look at. There we go. There is sounds of birds, and there is a blowing on the air that is as if a building is empty. Just when you get that going on. Colin starts walking you didn't see it at first, but as Kalain takes steps, you can see there's actually a way up the tree. And he starts walking up it. And the more you try and look to see where to step, you can't see where to step. But if you look where Kalain's walking, your body naturally finds the right place to stand as you potter along up this tree trunk. Doesn't take you long to get to the top. When you get to the top, all the branches that you saw reaching out to meet the rest of the canopy are not there. You don't remember a point climbing up the tree where you went past these branches to be in the top of it. But when you get to the top of it, it is just flat, like it's been cut. And you've got this, you are stood on a tree trunk, and you can see the countless rings that would determine the age of such a tree. It is a very, very large plateau on top of this tree. Towards the second third of the trunk from where you first breached the top of it, there is an empty high back chair of a dark red clay chair. Chair's the best word you can come up with to describe it. It looks like someone would sit there, and it looks like it would hold them well, but it doesn't look like it was deliberately made. Kalain walks up to this chair and stands on the right hand side of it. You wait but a moment, and there is a peach coloured orb just floats down onto this plateau. You look around, you don't know where it's come from, and it just floats in, and it flutters towards this strange red clay chair, hovers for a moment, and this peach hue sort of starts to form. There's a very, very small flare of light, and left in its place is a creature of supernatural beauty. Their skin it's got a copper, you're not surprised, a copper sheen to it, dark eyes. There is a smile that is alluring, whether you like it or not. It has an allure to the smile, but there's that caution as well. It's a very confusing, you don't know whether to approach and shake their hand or stay the fudge away. Their head is completely bald. Their ears are only just tipped, very much akin to half-elves, or a race that is not completely elf. They don't have the long stretching points of some of the elves. They are just tipped. That both sides of their nose and both ears are pierced with small golden rings, and there's 3 golden rings in each. Yep, so there's 12 of these piercings in total. Their robes have a metallic shimmer to them, of brass and copper and rustic reds, and it wraps around this creature, this humanoid, in a almost kimono-esque style, similar to what Dalefathin is wearing. But there's something slightly different about it that wouldn't tell you it was of the dynasty. On the left hand side, as they are sat in this red clay chair, there is a spear that looks like it is made out of some sort of ebony wood, with a stone spearhead to it, and the spearhead is perfect, very much as you would expect via metal, but it's made of stone. And it stands upright on the left hand side, so you've got Kalain on the right, and this spear just stands as though it's just, I don't know, the magic of magnets. It's just stood there. Yep. It doesn't move, there's no one holding it, it's just next to them. They, on the spear, you can see there are runes all up the shaft, and some in the stone of a silver colouring, and they are druidic. It is a druidic language that has been put upon this spear. Do any of you speak druidic?
Do I?
I'd be shocked all along. But yeah, so this is what you see. They see that, and Kalain steps forward and introduces, this is Jazarit Timor Tamil.
I will do a very low bow and hold it for a second or two before returning to an upright position. Lady Jazarit, it is an honour to be in your presence. Thank you for your invitation.
And yours, Herald.
making a note of that in my mind, not questioning it.
And your
I
companions are?
I was literally about to do that. How dare you interrupt me?
Much like a herald.
What a good herald you make.
What a good herald I make it. And I point to Kess. This is my brother Caspian.
You'll bow as well.
And then I point to Dalefin. This is Dalefin from the... And I look at him like, where are you from again? I've forgotten.
From the lands of Vey, and I will also take a bow.
And then I point to Griff, and I'm like, this is Griff. He is a paladin, I believe, of the Thunderbird. He is also an impressive dancer, so if you require some entertainment, perhaps Griff can provide you with some.
One eyebrow raises.
And then I kind of like point to Ari and go, and that one is Ari.
Like bows in the same manner. Tries to copy them as best he can.
Sorry, that would be awful. This is
Little
Dalefin
boy.
of the Vey Dynasty. Griff, the Paladin of Thunderbird. That's Bob.
That's Harry.
That's Ari. He's
That's
a human.
Ari's the window cleaner.
Ari is our talking human.
They follow every word. Their gaze lingers on each of you. Kesvion, give me a perception check.
Let's roll some dice.
In fact, all of you, give me a perception check.
It's gonna be a good one, boys. That's a dirty 20 to start the day.
An 18 or a 19? I can't
I like
actually
it
see
dirty.
for the
Different channel.
Well, I'm on a 19.
That's a 5.
That is a 22.
Ooh.
With my +4.
Their gaze lays upon Kesvion the longest. It's only briefly, but enough that you all are quite perceptive and notice it. Griff got a 21, or some stupid. He got a 19.
The one time that poor Kate's not here to see it.
Oh, no.
Oh, can you see that with? Oh, these dice from Bardic Inspiration. You will see their link pop up in chat. These are beautiful.
They're all a 19. Yeah.
My new favourite dice. You just go to their site and look for parchment.
The
and you
colour
get some beautiful dice.
is parchment.
Yes.
They
they're
are still
beautiful.
in stock.
So yes.
They are still in stock.
So yeah,
Others might not be.
The gaze lingers on Kesvion the longest, but it is only a heartbeat or two. Just enough for you to notice.
Well, Luke has Celtic fear now.
Celtic
Yeah,
fear.
If it helps, show some Kes.
I mean, I think Kess just constantly is in a sort of low-key state of Celtic fear, to be honest.
And he is the Celtic fear. That's what's
He
annoying.
is. He just all fear all the time.
When Killane went for you, he only went for the children of Summerbreeze. Why do I now see 5 before me? There's no animosity in the question.
No. Apologies, Lady Jezarit. We happened to make some acquaintances on our journey here, and let's just say we've had a bit of camaraderie. We've had a little bit of
Camaraderie.
Thank you. We've had a little bit of camaraderie.
Welcome to my world.
Shut up. We've had a little bit of camaraderie in our adventure.
Looks at Harry. You are of Ravenholm.
Yes, I am.
How is it I find you in my forest?
The bird carried me in.
It was not my intention to necessarily come into the forest directly. I've always been taught from a child to not come into the forest.
You were
But
taught well.
as Zandria has put, we have had some adventures along the way, which means that we will be most willing to help out the siblings.
I just look at Ari and kind of lighten them.
Do you know what it is I wish of them, or what aid I require?
No.
Yet you have still promised to aid them.
They have aided me in things that I have needed. Therefore, it seems like a promise is a promise.
They look at Kalain. Kalain just nods slowly. So, children of Summerbreeze, I invited you here to my abode, for there is a danger I cannot directly manipulate. I do not like this. There is...
It must be something quite serious for you to call upon the tribe of Al-Haris.
You walk through summer, do you not?
That is correct.
It is those of summer I need in this time of autumn, for there is a binding upon my children. They are blind to the attacks of the humans of Ravenholm. And they look at Ari and then back to Xandria.
I was made briefly aware of the situation between the humans of Ravenholm and your people. What is it exactly you wish for us to do for you?
I need to know how the humans are able to blind me from their visits to the forest. How they are able to enter without my knowledge. It has been a long time since, excuse me, I felt a threat from the humans. Ravenholm learned, I hoped, from its mistakes of the past, and Reinhardt lost his kingdom. It is apparent that they are performing those same mistakes again.
I believe right at this current time, you may have a bit of a reprieve from these humans attacking your lands. They seem to be dealing with an internal issue in their city regarding a fire, an attempt of life, a sapphire dragon, and a theft.
There is a what can only be described as a chuckle, but it sounds like this entity hasn't chuckled for a very long time at the mention of a sapphire dragon. They look at Kalain.
Because we all know, kids, there's no such
thing as dragons!
Dungeons and Dungeons, as this game is known.
Not even dungeons, man. There's no dungeons.
They look at Kalain.
Cities and taverns.
They look at They look at Kalain with a Sawdust Swearwords. We're literally playing Sawdust Swearwords.
Oh,
They
yeah.
look at Kalain as they chuckle, and Kalain nods, and the chuckle goes away. Very, very interesting. I will point out that is one city with a fire. I talk of the country. Ravenholm is not one city. Surely Ari could tell you the might and reach of Ravenholm. They are a formidable nation. They survived their own empire loss. That is not a common thing amongst those that chase power.
Apologies, Lazy Jesuit. My knowledge of Ravenholm is nigh on non-existent.
This is why I have chosen those of Summer. Their curiosity, I hope, will find answers that mine will be blocked from. I need somebody outside the forest who can enter the forest unseen by those chasing the children of autumn. You are my, what do the humans, spies, my eyes and ears. Albeit I did not expect looks at Griff, Kenku and one of they to be with you, or indeed one of Ravenholm themselves.
Neither did we when we began this journey, Lady Desiree.
As you say that, 2 owls just come flying in, quite large. They are just a bit smaller than Griff. They come in, they land, they hit the wood, and they immediately turn into 2 very similar looking to the guards that you saw downstairs, and they just, it's not a polymorph, they shape themselves back to their elven form. They start speaking to Kalain frantically, in Sylvan, those that understand it. They are speaking of 2 intrusions into the forest itself, and they're informing Kalain of it. Yep. Kalain turns immediately to the Jesuit. Jesuit nods. They don't even pass conversation, just nods. I will be leaving now. Your first step to aiding the forest looks like it's beginning now. And they just wave their hand, and they just sort of almost evaporate, and then what is left is that peach orb, and it just flutters away into nothingness. Kalain straight up to you lot. We have intrusions in the forest, to the east and to the north. I will take the east, you will take the north. Take this, and he gives you an acorn about the size of a tennis ball. It will protect you on the roads.
That's a chunk of an acorn. But...
So you guys, he wants you to go north. Follow, and he points towards one of the guards, and they just stalk forwards, and they just introduce themselves. Hi, I'm Walks. Follow me. I can get you to the incursion quicker than if you were to take yourselves. And the other one, Kalain speaks to, turns into an owl, and just fucks off to the skies. Kalain just walks off the tree. Literally just walks off and disappears.
What an absolute weapon.
Yeah.
I want to be Kalain when I grow up.
What a ledge. What a unit.
What a unit.
So you 5 are stood up there with Walks.
The smash.
Thank you very much for your aid, Walks. Please lead the way.
And he starts bugging it down the way you came up. You notice that he's just sort of parkouring down. Again, same way of just following him rather than trying to look for your footholds. You just follow down. Once you get to the bottom, he runs back round to the courtyard. You follow him round. And what you didn't notice before is now there seems to be all these wooden grown roots that if you paper mache them, you could make them look like hands. But they are these trunks of tree with roots, and in each cupping is an acorn, a bit smaller than the one you've given. And there's about 7, maybe 8 of them. He runs over to one, and he just puts his hand on it. He speaks a language similar to Sylvan, but you can imagine it's Druidic, and a small green line appears next to him and parts ever so slightly, and there is more of the copper forest beyond that. Quick, in you go, I'll be right behind you.
We'll Castle draw his scimitars and head on in.
Cool. Rest of you just following.
Xandria is right behind with her bow out.
Cool. You all go ploughing in, and as you all go ploughing through the portal, it goes from that autumn damp smell where you were before to horrific decaying compost type smell. The trees in a 40-foot radius So from where this portal happens, so it'd be an 80-foot circumference, diameter, whatever. All the trees there seem to have shrunk. The copper sheen's gone. You can still see it in a bit of like a veiny bit in the bark, but it's like they've been sapped or drained. Sapped, no pun intended. They've been drained of their copper glamour, and they just look like trees that are dying. The ground on the floor in front of you is decaying, very much like compost that has been there too long. The smell is horrific, and in front of you are 4 humanoid shapes that look like they are the colour of night blue, robes tattered, hanging over them. Their faces have got the same sort of blue, night blue skull visage, and it looks like someone's put a light up in the robe, and they've got almost like a backlight to their robes and skull face. The skull face almost looks like a mask rather than an actual skull, but you can't really tell. The thing that stands out the most on all 4 of them is, even though they've got this robed blue backlit look to them, they are all wearing a white sash that is hanging from their belts, and this white sash looks as real as touching one another around you. And then it's attached to this wraith-like entity. There's 4 of them. All of you roll initiative immediately.
Yay! First fight in how many episodes?
17.
Going to smash. Going to
21.
smash.
21.
Hey, do you want one of us to take Griff?
I'll take Griff.
Okay.
It'll be easier. Cool. So, Cass, what did you get?
21.
21. Zandria, what did you get?
21.
Dalefin, what did you get?
24.
24.
Damn it!
13
He's
with
a
my +5
wizard.
initiative.
13.
Goodbye, you're getting in the bin as well.
Griff got 14, sorry, Harry. 13. 2 secs. Right, so, and you've got walks with you. Walks got a 16. Cool. So, you go in there. Fight! Yes. For those watching, we are using Syrinscape for ambient music in the background. Please let me know if it's too loud and you can't hear anything, but yes, we'll go with that. Din, 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 din. Right, so these wraith-like creatures, as you come into it, are all, they see you. They are about 40 feet from you in various angles. You guys are kind of fanned out as you just come barreling through. Kess and Zandria. Zandria, what's your dex?
My dex is +2.
Kess, what's yours?
+3.
Cool, you're going first.
Smash,
Kess,
smash, smash, smash,
you
smash.
go first. What do you do? They're 40 feet from you. For all intents and purposes, you can call them 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hang on, Eddie. Doesn't AJ have a higher initiative roll?
He does, he's got 24, it's because I wrote him further down. Delphin, you might as well go first, seeing as you rolled highest.
If you insist. I will. Bugger it. These guys look particularly nasty. I will use a bonus action to begin Blade Song, and I will bring out the big, horrible Shadow Katana.
As you start your Blade Song, you feel it heightened by your presence within the Copper Forest. Yep. So,
Okay.
read out what your song does.
Right. +3 to my AC, walking speed increases by 10 feet, advantage on acrobatics checks, and a +3 bonus to any con saving throw to maintain concentration.
Cool, it's +5 at the minute. Yep.
5.
+5, not +3.
Okay.
While you are in this forest, and you can, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
That's going to do fun and interesting things. I will then just, with the Shadow Blade out, move as far up to one as I can. trying to pick one of the ones on the edge rather than one dead center and just cleave into it.
Can you move 40 feet?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
30 normally, but plus 10 feet for the blade song.
Boom. So you go into your Zen, the song of the song of your people. The song of Vert flows from you. You lot can hear him in a harmonious moment, and then he just darts forward, full anime style, shadow katana in his hand that is summoned en route. Does summoning the do you summon it and strike in the same go?
Oh, my apologies. Can't summon the katana as the bonus action. Blade song was the bonus action. I'll
Cool.
just draw my rapier instead.
You just ruined the thematic moment, didn't you? Runs
It's
forward
okay,
with his
'cause I'll
shadow
green flame
katana.
blade it instead.
Cool. So you go darting forward.
You're summoning it as you're running. So
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Whip out your rapier, and you're striking the one on the left flank, yeah.
Left flank, green flame blade it, and I'm on a 21.
21 hits as your rapier stabs forward, green flame all around it.
Alrighty.
You do notice that you pierce some sort of arcane barrier in front of it.
Right. That's always good to know. 1d8 plus 3. That is 9 points of damage to it, and to the thing stood next to it, it's 6 points of flame damage. Plus green flame blade jumps.
So the 9 points of damage you do, you feel resistance as the blade pierces.
Okay.
Yeah. And the one next to it takes how much fire?
Let's say 5 points of fire damage.
6.
6?
6 points of fire damage, sorry.
There is no resistance to that fire as you see it engulf round its robes. Is that you done?
Okay, yeah, mental arithmetic. Clearly they're resistant to something magical. Get through. That's me.
Brilliant. Kess, you're up now.
So I am going to use, obviously, full 30 feet to get up. I'm going to then use my bonus action to dash to get the final 10. And then
Can you use your bonus action to dash?
I think I can. Give me a little second.
I think it's just a regular action for dash.
If you're not a rogue,
I
if
thought I had it on thingy. One sec, I might be getting confused. It's been a wee while. Let me double check. Scroll faster. Nope, you're right. I'm talking key.
Cool. So you're 10 feet from them with your scimitars in hand, but you still have your action and bonus action.
I think at this point, because I can't get right up to them, I'm just going to hold my actions to see if any of them come towards us.
And then hit it if it does, yeah?
Yup.
Cool.
Do a smash.
Zandria, your brother rushes forward, scimitars in hand, and essentially holds stance, waiting to clip one if it comes in.
I am going to shoot at it with an arrow.
Yeah.
Because I can do that from where I'm standing.
Cool, you fire your arrow. At which one? Number 1 is in combat with Dale, and the other 3 are not yet engaged in melee.
We'll go for the one
Okay.
next to the one that Dalefrin attacked.
Cool, so you'll shoot at number 2 that took, you can see the embers of fire dying down from the last attack.
Yeah. Ooh,
Of green fire.
does a 17 hit?
A 17 does hit.
Okay, so let's see, bow, 1d6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 points of damage.
So 8 points of your arrow flies through the air and you see it sink in, but you're pretty sure with the strength of the shot you just unleashed, you'd have expected it to go further in. Cool.
Also
your
making
action.
a mental note.
What are you doing with your bonus?
That's it, because I only have 2 things I can do with bonus, and nope, they're not applicable, so no.
Okay. That's Andrea. Then we've got Walks, who will rush straight across to the right and disappear into the tree line. And then you will see an arrow come out from the tree line. And then you'll notice Walks has revealed himself. But it doesn't matter, because his arrow went whizzing off and nearly hit Delphin. So. Good old Elven Super Rangers. Now it's Griff, who will Shield of Faith Delphin. So you +2 AC on your thingy. Yeah. And
Just for reference, so now AC 23.
Yeah. Griff knows what he's doing.
That's a chunky wizard you got there.
Boy, breaking stereotypes of wizards since 2020.
And then rush forwards to aid Delphin. And that'll be Griff's turn. So Griff is now in combat with number 1 and number 2, or at least in melee range. And Delphin, you could easily make yourself the same. That's Griff. So that's Ari, you're up.
How far apart are they? So they're like, you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
1 and 2 are stood next to each other. 3 is 10 feet from 2, and 4 is 10 feet from 3.
Okay, cool. Ari will use the thing that I forgot that I have as a rogue, which is I can use a bonus action to dash. Haha! Thank you for reminding me of this as a rogue, yay.
I forgot I wasn't playing a rogue this time.
So he will use his bonus action to dash. Obviously move his full 35 feet to begin with, so he's more than easy to get up to number 4.
So can Ari normally walk 35 feet? Right, so if you use dash, it doubles your movements. You have 70 feet to still use. So remember that if you want to run away. So you rush forward 40 feet. You're now engaged with them. You have 30 feet left of movement.
Going for number 4 with my rapier, which will try different dice. Please roll better. Thank you for rolling better. That's much better. 18 to hit.
18 does indeed hit as you stab with your rapier.
Does this mean that I get to do some nice sneaky boys?
It does indeed.
Sneak attack. Haha! See, I remembered that part.
You are 1-on-1. You are a swashbuckler, and therefore your sneak attack damage applies.
So 1d8 and 2d6.
Nice.
So that is 5 plus 4, 9 plus 3 is she says she tries to add up 12 points of damage.
So as you stab quite accurately with your rapier, as you're used to practicing, again there is a resistance to the effort you put in.
Is this rapier not magical?
You tell me. Cool. There's no resistance.
I think you told me I don't know it in character, but
there is no resistance as you plough the. What did you get? 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I can't do
yeah,
that
12
either.
points of damage. Yeah.
Cool. There's no resistance. Your blade goes straight through, in a very accurate shot.
He will move his 30 feet back.
Cool. You do not grant the creature an attack of opportunity because you got fancy footwork. Or some such swashbuckling absolute cheese.
He's got them dancing feet.
Yeah.
Them dancing feet.
Them dancing feet.
Right, so now there you go. So the one in combat with Delphin will reach out its hand and go, Quasi! Hold person, can you give me a save, please?
Which save is it? The whole person?
On you, Delphin. Wisdom.
Which save?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
I thought you knew all the saves, Delphin. You know what I mean?
I do, it's just been a long day. 16?
16. You might have just done that. Yep, you feel the hold on you take for a blink and then just fall off you as though someone's thrown a lovely water balloon at you. That is their action. They will then Misty Step as a bonus action. Yeah. And they will Misty Step 30 feet towards Xandria.
How dare they?
So they're 10 feet from Xandria.
How
That's their
dare
their
they?
mistake.
Cool. That is action bonus. And then we'll use its movement to run into combat with Xandria. As it's only 10 feet
Repeat.
from her now.
So you have chosen death.
Yes.
I understand. Oh, as if my shoulder just cracked.
The one that you set on fire, Dalefin, will.
I don't think the fire persists. I think it is just fire damage. Just
Yeah, I know.
recurring. Yeah.
It's more so you know which one it is. It will cast fear on you. So give me a wisdom save.
Yeah, mate.
13.
That's exactly what you needed. So for a second, you can feel that supernatural fear creeping up, reaching for your heart, and you're essentially like, "Fuck no! Do you know who I am?" Demon warrior, baby. And you don't, you are not feared. It will then Misty Step towards, into combat with Kesvion. Kesvion, your action is triggered, and you swing at it. You only get the one swing, you don't get your full...
Yeah, I know. I do kind of remember how to play now and again.
It's been a while since we've done combat, so...
So that is 18 to hit.
You hit, your scimitar comes up in a reactive strike.
And that is 9 points of damage, which I'm sure will not do as much as...
Exactly that. You feel a resistance to the slash as you come
Rude.
into it. The one that no one's engaged yet
Oh, yeah.
The 3.
will launch two. Only Xandria would recognise this. They're very akin to Eldritch Blasts, but they have a strange ugliness to the way the bolt is
It's
shaped.
gravy time.
Ah, thank you very much for the subscription. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dave. And two grave bolts shoot out from these creatures, and they shoot towards Xandria. The first one is a 23.
Oh, well, that hits.
The second one is a 14.
That does not hit.
Cool, so the first one will do 8 points of necrotic damage to you.
How? Hey! Ow.
But they didn't move from their spots,
Yeah, I know.
and they stay there. The one that Ari is 30 feet from, it will shoot two grave bolts at Ari. On a 24 and a 19.
They both hit.
The first one is 8, the second one is 10. So you take 18 points of necrotic damage as these two bolts of green crap hit into you like a horse kicking you. It then runs into combat with you.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Won't be long.
Dalefin, you're up.
So there's one engaged with Ari, one engaged with Xandria, one engaged with Kesvion, and one that just stood at a distance and shot, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like my dance partner. I'll pull the Shadow Blade this time and charge it on him.
Yes, you will.
22 to hit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Twelve points of psychic damage.
How many?
12.
12. Woo!
2d8.
Nice.
There is a screech that I will not try and impersonate. It is high pitched It's not a fan of being hit with that shadow katana. You got what else?
No, that's move, strike, and bonus. I'm done.
Cool, so you've had arrows flying in, you've had shadow katanas, you've had scimitars going out, you've had grave bolts shooting across the combat. Caspian, you are currently in combat with one that is, it got set on fire and you stabbed it. Or at least it got burnt rather than set on fire.
I'm gonna do some more stabs.
Stab it.
That is math. That's 23 to hit.
You definitely hit.
And I'm going to use one of my superiority dice as well. I'm going to use my it is sharp attack. So when you damage a creature with a weapon attack, you can extend one superiority die to add to your damage roll. Seeing as I always keep forgetting that I've got these wee bad boys, let's roll some dice. Okay, that is 10 points of damage.
Whoa, 10 points on your first strike.
And then we've
Again,
got another
you
half.
feel somewhat of a resistance. And then with your offhand, you spin your second scimitar.
And that one is 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Yep. And we'll just do a straight. That one is not as good. That is a 4.
To hit.
No, that was a 17
you already
to
hit
hit.
with 17,
4 damage.
Yeah, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
You just clip it. Not enough to do any real damage, but you clip it enough with the tip of the scimitar. Is that you done? You got your movement left.
Yeah, but it's in front of me.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
He's perfectly happy where he is killing on this thing.
Zandria, you currently have a horrific wraith-like creature in your face.
Yeah, it's right in my face now, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Rude. I am going to move away with my movement, which is 30.
So you're gonna move away.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool, you move away, it swings at you.
Oh yeah, shit.
That's a 6.
Maybe I'll just Misty Step it then.
That's a 16.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, you only take 4 points of necrotic damage. Are you
That's
sure?
3 points of health you have left.
Can I reaction that?
Reaction. Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, Hellish Rebuke.
Cool. Dex save, yeah?
Shall we to death? Let's see. Yeah, Dex saving throw, please.
Dex save is a 5.
No. It does not succeed. So...
It's gravy time.
Hey, Captain McDuff. Thanks for the follow-up.
I actually need to get another D10 out.
Is it 2 or 3 D10, is it?
It's 3 D10.
3 D10, is it fire?
Fire! Yes.
So I love that all these reactions are going off, which are supposed to be like blink of an eye moments. So it's just like Sandria steps, Grave Bolt happens, Hellish Rebuke follows it.
I was really confused. I was like, is that a D10? Yeah, forgetfulness. Oh, that is not good for it. 10, 8, and 2, 20 damage.
20 damage?
20 fire damage.
Cool. As it launches a grave bolt at you as you step, you just roar, scream, pure summer wrath pours out of you and ignites the creature. It screeches to the sky, and then its blue mystical eyes bore down on you. So you
More
move.
health than you do,
Where are
Andrea.
you going now?
Wank. So Do I still? Do I class that as an action?
No, it's a reaction.
No, it's a reaction.
Okay,
So you still have your bonus, you still have your action, and you have your movement because you started.
Okay,
moving.
so yeah, so I move away.
So you move full 30 feet away.
Yes,
Cool.
so that I may. Oh, actually, yeah, and then I shoot my bow at it,
Okay.
which is. What is that? Let's see, 16 plus.
You've now all seen Hellish Rebuke, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
Dirty 20.
Dirty.
And 1d6. 6 again, 6 plus 2, 8 piercing damage. I don't know where I got this one from, but this is a good dice. We like this dice. I think this
So
might be a
you-
wish.com.
You buggy it away from this creature. It grave bolts you. You Hellish Rebuke it, then buggy on, and then shoot it in the face with an arrow. But it's still looking at you. You're getting it. Is the look it gives you. If you
Are
can see
you
that in a
kidding
red
me?
creature. You wanted to fight, kids. So after Zandria, we have Walks, who will. Zandria, are you in a blooded state? Are you below 50%?
Yeah. After the first attack, I was under a blooded state.
So Walks will rush the one that was in combat with you and spin his curved glaive. That one hits. You see his blade not feel resistance, but not do a lot of damage.
Wham wham.
But yeah, Walks is now engaged with it. So that's Walks, movement, action. Griff will. Griff was 40 feet. We'll run to Zandria. I will assume you ran at a diagonal. We'll run to Zandria and lay on hands. All 15 into you. You hear the.
Oh, that's a waste, but okay.
Griff doesn't care.
Heal me.
Well, Griff can't overheal you, so whatever's left, Griff still has.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
what did you need to be full?
I needed 12.
So Griff still has 3. That's important to know in case one of you falls over.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So Griff, the paladin of the Thunderbird, goes rushing across. You hear that cry of the Thunderbird, but this time it is far, far away rather than straight above you. So that's Griff's turn. Ari, you're in combat with the one that you ran up to, stabbed, and it followed you.
Because I've got a huge amount of health left. I'm just gonna say. So it's right there. Okay. Rude. I guess we do a stab with a rapier then.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby.
Stab.
Ooh, that was a nice roll.
You are still 1-on-1 with it, so.
Awesome. Well, that is a 17 plus 5 to hit. So I presume
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
Suck
You're
that
great, yes.
up today.
Stabby.
Boy.
Stabby and sneaky. Where's my sneaky going? Where's my d8s from? There we are. Wasn't great rolling. 14 points of damage.
Look at me.
And then bonus action dagger.
Cool. Is the dagger magical?
The dagger is also magical. It's the maker of it. We said when the
Yep.
maker of it.
I'm just getting you to say it out loud.
I know. So I need to obviously roll to hit. Don't be ridiculous. Don't just start. Oh well, that one.
So you do a sweet strike with your rapier, and then get a little bit cocky, and you hold your dagger and kind of forget to attack.
Sounds like Ari.
Sounds like Harry.
Gets a bit cocky.
Right, it's now their turn. Zandria, the one that was.
Can I move away?
Yeah, you can move away. You don't provoke an attack of opportunity.
Fuck you, Harry.
The one coming, the one coming at Zandria, or that was coming at Zandria, who is now in combat with Warx, will Misty Step away from Warx straight into Zandria, as she's only 30 feet away, and then it will reach out to you, and it'll sort of hold its hand in front of you, Vader style, and life drain. Can I have a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yeah.
At disadvantage because of your condition.
Hang on, right. We're gonna roll the rose dice, and we're gonna roll a bardic inspiration dice. Which creator is the better?
Don't be losing me sponsorships, you.
Well, if you would like to know, the bardic one was an 18.
Cool.
The rose one was an 8.
Right.
So -1, 7.
I infected mine with my dice rolling. This is why Luke does them packaging.
So that was 7. So drain me away.
So you take 8 points of necrotic damage as you feel your actual soul being ripped from your body.
Yep.
So you take 8 points of necrotic. Your maximum hit point also reduces by 8. Yep.
That means she's got like 3 hit points.
So wait, so I lose 8 hit points and my maximum drop.
Yeah. But you don't take that as damage. So what's your maximum hit points?
15.
Cool. So it now drops by 8 to 7. So just drop to 7.
Yeah, that's what I've dropped.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Can I reaction?
Can you reaction?
Yeah.
No, it's the same
I
round.
have. Oh yeah, right.
You've already done it to do Hellish Rebuke.
Wank.
And how often can you do that?
I can do it twice.
Cool.
I get it 2 times because it's a path
Spell
slot.
slot. Yeah, cool. So Misty Step, Life Drain. Yeah, lovely. That's it, sir.
I feel like I've been in this situation before, except it wasn't my life, it was my intelligence.
Oh no.
Please,
Cast
I don't
your-
want to do.
Shut up, you.
The creature in front of you just reaches back and point blank hits you with. It'll step back. Do you want to swing it?
Yeah.
It steps back. It tries to sort of float back away from you.
So that is dirty 20.
That hits.
And then this time I'm going to remember to add my +3s to my damage because I've not been doing that all combat so far, Kitty Winks.
Worst fighter ever.
Yup.
What do you think I was doing while everyone was like sorting all their stuff out? I
So
was like, oh,
that
good, I'm low
is
initiative.
7 points of damage.
Cool. You feel the resistance to the blade. It now boogies back in that Wraith-like boogie manner, 30 feet, and then launches 2 grave bolts at you. And the first one is a 16.
Yep.
The second one, oh dear, is a 22.
Yep.
You take them. You take 18 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
That's it, so. Dael'Thim. It reaches out for you and tries to drain your life. Can I have a Constitution saving throw, please? You're muted as well. Oh, there you go, you're back. It's fine. You're fine, I can hear you.
17.
You do not feel your life force being drained. But there is a hissing anger.
That's a welcome.
There is a hissing anger from the Wraith creature. Right, Harry, it follows you. But what it does is it stops 5 feet short of you and then grave bolts you with a 12 and a 6.
Okay, you.
It will then. Oh, that's an action, you're lucky. Delphin, you back up, mate. This thing's
All right.
try to drain your life. Cheeky.
Point blank range.
Yeah, point blank.
I'm gonna hiss back mid-song and stab it in the face.
Oh, I like it. Just working a hiss into the singing. That's nice. Metal, man.
Remix.
That is a 17.
17 hits. These creatures are hissing and spitting. Their blue wraith-like robes floating around. The white sash that hangs down is just sort of flittering.
That is 11 points of damage, psychic.
Oh, damn. It is in agony at the strike from the psychic damage of the shadow katana.
I will then use my movement to skirt around it, to put it between me and one of its friends in case one of them decides they want to get involved.
Cool. Where are you, Delphin? There you go. Kesbjorn!
I'm a hit it.
You gotta hit it. You're gonna walk up to it first.
Yep.
Cool.
That is math. That is 19.
Cool, give me a wisdom
First
save.
one. Can do. Do. That is a 17.
Cool. You hear the roaring of waves all around you, as in sea waves. And as you strike, you do an extra d6 cold damage.
Nice.
As if your arm is an extension that you weren't in control of.
He's not going to question it.
Seance!
So that is that is 8 plus 5 is
13.
maths.
So is it 8 off the sword and 5 off the cold?
Aye.
So 8 off the sword, you feel the resistance. And then 5 off the cold. Oh,
Yep.
This thing is looking in a shit state. Which is a technical term for looking in a shit
And
state.
with the offhand,
The same applies to the offhand. Both
Okay,
your
crap.
you get the feeling that your blades are now in a whirlpool of motion.
yeah. So that is 21 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
That is 7 again with the sword. And my d6 is a 6.
Oof. So as you hear the roaring of the ocean and the waves all around you, and you just get your scimitars going in this whirlpool-like motion, you just cross over one another, and the wraith just and fizzles out to nothing, just gone. But the white sash remains on the floor. It is no longer there.
Can I use whatever of my movement I've got left to make my way back towards Zandria?
You can, but you wouldn't reach Zandria.
Oh, I didn't think
Yeah,
I would,
cool.
but I was like, I might as well start my journey.
Cool. Zandria, it's you.
Cool, I am going to misty step towards Kess.
Cool. I will say you reach Kess.
Cool. And then with my action, I am going to put my hand out in front of me like this, and then what materializes in my hand is a very long, ornate spear. With in the middle of the actual spear tip is a glowing, almost like flame-like orb, and it is the shaft is wood, and it's all intricately carved with what looks like flames.
Yeah.
And, I just kind of grab a hold of it, and then I just stand like sort of next to Kess, and I ready myself. I don't actually ready myself because it takes an action, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We were there. We were with you.
You get the idea.
Emotionally ready yourself.
So I
Yeah.
kind of got the picture of, you know, when magicians use the fire paper when they let go,
Yeah.
it goes, you've done that, but a spear's
Yeah.
appeared.
Yeah, basically just materializes, grabbed it, and like.
Have we all seen this?
Oh yeah, she's definitely just brought forth a spear of summer itself. So now
Bants.
it is what here for Bants. It's Walk's turn. walks, chases the wraith that was attacking Zandria. Just again swings his glaive and misses.
Bless his wee soul.
Best NPC.
Look, if Kalane were here, alright?
Oh, that's what Kalane just went on his own. He's done. He's back. He's got a Starbucks.
Yeah.
His feet up, done his nails.
It's now Griff's turn, who will hit the wraith in front of it, because Griff ran over to help Zandria. Sorry, Kate, that one.
She's not even here.
So Griff will just stand there with shield and kind of just try to put himself in between it and you. And just swing distractingly with the hammer. There the axe. Hammer. There we go. Harry, this won't leave you alone.
Little bugger is what it is.
It's one of your adoring fans. Come back to haunt you.
Don't try and sleep with the wraith.
Jilted lover.
Oh no.
So come on, Harry, what are you doing?
Was I still? Oh yeah, no. He was 5 feet
you're
from
30.
me, wasn't he?
I know you
5
ran away.
feet.
You hit him and ran away, so you're 30 feet. Yeah, he's
Yeah, but
run
then he
5 feet,
came
and then
30.
it's the next round. Yeah, my bad. You're 5 feet from you.
Okay, that's what I was checking. I was like, how far away is he?
Yep.
Ari is gonna try and get his rapier and try and get the sash if he can, to try and like essentially take it off if he can.
Okay.
Throw it.
Give me an attack roll.
We'll try. We'll see. Oh, that ain't bad.
Did you get over 20?
30-20.
Well, that'll do. Yep, okay, so you managed to strike with your rapier at a downward angle that stabs through the wraith itself, so roll your damage, and pushes the sash off its belt, or whatever's holding it to the wraith. So do your damage.
So still sneak attack.
Yeah, there's only you fighting it.
Cool.
It is not tactical enough to bring a friend in to deal with you.
That's 18.
God damn. 18?
18 points of damage.
Oh. As you stab through it with your rapier, you feel your arm go right through as the wraith just fluffs away to nothing, which is a brilliant thematic description. And the sash, you just stab through, and the sash is now on the end of your rapier, as you've just done a single movement and are now left with the rapier, all poetic like, hanging off the rapier. You've got a bonus action if you wanted to.
I have.
Launch your dagger at something.
I was just thinking, I was like,
How badass can Harry be in this single turn?
try. Yeah, one of the ones, like, maybe the one that Delphin's up with.
Yep, so you're going to use bonus action to what? Dash to help Delphin, or throw at the one that Delphin's
I've
fighting?
still got my movement, so, or how far away is Delphin?
Delphin's about 30 feet from you. And you use 5 feet to step into the wraith.
So, well, to be fair, I think we'll just throw the dagger.
Cool.
That's probably actually a good idea. So I don't know why I'm trying that. That's a 7. So
no.
Delphin. 7
plus
5.
7 plus 5? No, you missed. You launch your magical dagger at Delphin. Delphin, you just get hit by some sort of weight. You turn around, there's quite a nice shiny dagger stuck in the ground on the floor. You don't take any damage.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I didn't roll
That's
that one.
Harry's turn. Right, the one that was after Zandria that's now in a fight with Griff will Misty Step into combat with Kesfion and Zandria. And it will Grave Bolt the pair of you.
Oh, lovely.
So disadvantage because it's in combat. So on Kesfion with a disadvantage is a nat 20 and a 6. So that will miss. The one at Zandria is a 17 and a 3. So both miss as these two grave bolts just and just go off into nowhere. Nat 20, but disadvantage, McDuck. Disadvantage.
Thank God.
It will then. It will then.
Leave us the F alone.
It will try to run at you. but Griff will obviously swing at it, as will Walks. So Griff got a 2, Walks got a 3. Brilliant. It is.
Great support, guys.
Oh, God. Kate, come back, please.
Yeah, Kate, please.
Yeah, Griff and Walks try to swing it, hammering glaive, spinning and smashing, but the Wraith gets into combat with you two. Oh, it's in combat with you anyway, they just swung it. But yeah, you know what I mean. That knows what I mean. Kess, put that one in the bin. Harry, put that one in the bin.
I was like,
The one that you're fighting, Delphin, it will attempt to drain your life again. Constitution saving throw, please.
Alrighty. It is only a 15 this time.
You succeed with a 15. You do not feel. You feel the pull on your soul, but your training's far too disciplined. The song in your mind just strengthens you beyond the resolve that most people are not used to, as well as the fact that you feel heightened within the Forest of Copper. So that's that. It will then throw a cheeky grey bolt at you at disadvantage.
It's gravy time.
Whee! Thank you for the host, McDuck. It misses, by the way.
Fair.
It will stay in combat with you.
tried.
Right, Delphin, you're up.
Since I've basically got all this movement and know where to go, do you mind if I use it to pick this dagger up that's clearly at my feet?
You want to use your movement to pick the dagger up?
Basically, rather than drawing a dagger, which would be something I've got anyway, it's just the fact that it's on the floor.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Cool.
Just
Then as it's firing
bending
this
down
grey
for
bolt,
movement.
I will duck under, grab this dagger, and just...
Shadow
Sword
katana
and dagger.
shiny Ari dagger.
Yeah.
Cool, the dagger's
Because the shadow
magical.
katana is light.
Go for the tendons.
It's also magical.
Hamstring.
That is a 16 to hit.
With the shadow,
Shadow katana.
16 hits.
Okay. That's 10 points worth of psychic damage.
Yeah.
And dagger minus my
Ability
total
score.
plus 200 fighting.
Still get your proficiency.
14 to hit.
Just don't. 14
Oh.
just misses.
If I get my proficiency, it's 16.
So you get your proficiency, you don't get your ability.
Yeah, I was knocking everything off, so
Cool.
just
So yeah,
16 then.
Yeah, you're still proficient. So 16 does in fact hit.
1d4?
1d4 plus strength. Dex even.
That is 6 points worth of slashing damage, I assume.
6.
Roll a 3, got a plus 3.
You duck, grab the shiny dagger of Ari, come back up, upswing with your shadow katana, cut through its robes, and then you put the knife into its face, and you can see it sink beyond the mask that is the skull, but it doesn't dissipate when you pull back and ready. You've no idea how, but it doesn't dissipate.
I'm leaving the knife in it.
Cool. That's Delphin's turn.
Oh no.
Kesfion, you are in combat
You threw it away.
with a wraith that has been chasing your sister around this.
With Benny Hill music.
With Benny Hill music.
We're up within melee range, aren't we?
Yeah, it's in combat with you.
Cool. So that is 24 to hit.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
That is maths. I'm also going to expend another one of my combat superiority dice for sharpened attack again. So that will be 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 8 is 11.
11 points of damage off
Yup.
the one swing.
Off the one swing.
11. It's still there, but the tattered robes that it has.
And
there.
then with my other hand, That is 13 plus 5 is 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
And that is 9 points of damage.
So as this creature, wraith-like creature, comes flying at you two, throwing grave bolts, you kind of take a half step in a protective manner in front of Xandria. Barely noticeable, but Xandria spots it. And you spin your two... did you do the cold damage as well?
Oh, I didn't know I still had that.
Yeah, your blades are still in this. Only way to describe it is a whirlpool. And Mel...
So that is 4 to the first one and 5 to the second.
Cool. So as you hit it, Xandria, you see... Imagine holding a sword and pouring water on it and the water running down the blade. You see Kesfion's two scimitars spin as if they cut through water and then hit this wraith. The wraith dissipates and the white sash lands on the floor. FYI for Mel, Nightbot won't let you post links so everyone else will see 3 stars. But I'll sort one out, don't worry. Yeah, and you ruin this wraith's day. Xandria. It ain't there anymore.
I was going to say, there's just the one next to Dalefin now, right?
Yep.
How far away is it in conjunction to me and Kess?
30 feet.
30 feet.
You
I'm
can
gonna
get to
move,
it.
I was going to say, I'm going to move 10 feet and then I'm going to attack it with my pole arm, which has a range of 20. So
It has a range of 20.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Alright. Carry
Don't
on.
ask me, it's what the sheet say.
Stab away. Stab away.
Stab away. Stab away. Let's see. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Sweet. You shall be the victim. 7 points of magic damage.
Cool. It had 1 point left. So you step forward 10 feet, your polearm of Summer embodied goes over Dalefin's shoulder and just punches through the face of the wraith. Dalefin, you see this incredibly ornate spear tip come over the top with the glowing orb of fire within it, just push through the face of the wraith as the wraith just in front of you, and the white sash lands on the floor. They are all gone. You are no longer in combat. Before you go any further, I'm going to call a quick break there, because we've gone 10 minutes over. So we have a quick break, guys. So if you're watching, great, still watch. We'll be back in like 10-15 minutes. I'll put the YouTube link in there. Thank you very much, Duck, for all the keen. That's great, and thank you from the keen from the rest of you. What you'll see on the break now is pretty much a bigger version of what you've seen in the bottom corner going on. So it will just show you people that have shown us some support through sponsorship, artwork, etc. Check them out. You can go find them on Facebook and all that good stuff. Just Google them, really. You'll find them eventually. And yeah. So yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you very much for watching. Please keep watching. If you have to go right now, remember tomorrow you can see Vampire 17th of June. We're starting our Vampire game. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Speak to you in a bit, guys.
Green tea all the way.
Hello, people of the interweb. We're back. We've had a little break. Thank you very much for sticking around. The numbers have gone up by 10 since I last checked for the break, so I don't know how you guys have really enjoyed the slideshow of pictures. Hopefully this will be much more interesting. Thank you very much to Dwarf Warrior for raiding during the break. Thank you very much for the welcome back, McDuck. Just before the fight, we had a break. Just before the break, we had a fight. The party were helping the Jesuit, who is the ruler of the Copper Forest. They are in the wilds of the Fae. Of the two locations that were attacked, Kulain went to the east and this merry bunch went to the north. And they found these 4 wraith-like creatures that were blue, night blue robes, skulls, kind of backlit, who were essentially draining the life out of the area, and indeed tried to drain the life from a couple of the party, successfully on Xandria. When they died, the white sash that was tied off at their waist by rope, belt, or something that wraiths pick up at Primark, it hit the deck, so there are 4 white sashes on the floor. What you all notice instantly, or which will probably stick out in your memories, is 1, Xandria igniting the wrath of summer in a wraith's face. 2, Xandria summoning a 25-foot polearm of Summer's death strike, and Xandria having her life force taken to the point now where she looks aged beyond even that of an elf, fey-like creature, or a mortal blood. She has instantly shrunken in physique. Her eyes are gaunt. She does not look very well at all.
There go your spellbinding eyes, sister. Obviously not the words out of Kesfion's mouth.
Oh no.
So great to find us a cleric.
The sound of the forest quietens. The area is still in a decaying disrepair. Walks is pottering around the place, almost searching for tracks to see if any other entities are nearby. Let's hope he's better at survival checks than he is actually helping the party.
Walks.
Ari's going to retrieve his dagger.
Ari,
Dagger, it's gone.
You summon forth the dagger. You retrieve the dagger, all whilst walking around with this white sash on the tip of your rapier. The other 3 sashes are on the floor.
Can I have a look at the sash?
You can
and
indeed.
the robes, and do I recognise?
You do indeed, assuming you roll high enough. So,
Let's hope so.
Give me a history check.
Oh, gold. Okay.
It's not high.
Oh no, actually not. Forget he's intelligent.
I was gonna
my
say,
God.
you're intelligent.
I've never seen anyone get excited over a history roll.
Listen,
Oh my God.
all my other characters are stupid.
Oi,
He's got
some
a
of us
19.
resemble that remark.
Just a bit.
So what was your score?
19.
Ooh.
Wow.
This is a sash very commonly worn by those from the province of the Red Lady. On the northern coast of Ravenholm. They are one of the 6 provinces, and those of the Red Lady all wear white as part of their uniform, etc. Similar to the Crimson Red of the House of Tor, the House of the Lady of Red, or Lady in Red, is white.
Not confusing in
at
the
all.
slightest.
Yeah, you did write it, Jesus. This will be fun.
Oh dear.
Kesfion's going to be having a mild panic over the fact that Xandria's holds everything. Is not so great.
You're finding,
Andrea is less panicked.
you're breathing quite difficultly, Andrea. Not as one of your attacks, just the sheer strain of the Death Spear experience.
Yep, I was fully expecting that.
Oh.
Is this something that they've ever encountered before?
Nope.
Fab. I love that.
Dalethin, however, give me an Arcana check. As the creature tried to do it to you. And where you're from.
That is a 14 on the dice, that's a 19 total.
Ooh. Yeah, so you are aware of whatever it tried on you was obviously successful on Xandria. Your clan specifically do not deal with the undead, but there are clans that do. And you know of techniques that creatures of a necrotic nature are able to sap one's life force. In some cases permanently, in other cases for a very long time, and if you're lucky, a short period of time. If you want to do a medicine check, you can have a guess of how long this would take.
Yeah,
but only
sure.
you would
That
be
one's
skilled
not
enough.
as good.
Or knowledgeable enough.
That is a 15 on the roll, which makes it a 14.
Cool. So you reckon it ain't going anywhere until she rests up for a long time.
I'll look over to the probably incredibly distressed face of Casfield and just go, it'll pass. She needs rest. And doesn't look like it's one of the permanent ones. This will probably fade away in time.
He kind of like
sashes
whips
at
his
my
head
feet.
round to you in a way that like slightly like mentalist kind of look in his eye, just like ah. And then after you said that, you see he does seem to kind of like unclench marginally.
Andrea's just going to put a hand on Kessa's shoulder and just pat him. Just like, you know, that sort of...
It's fine. Just put a bandage on it.
Fine, fine.
Wet paper towel, it'll be fine.
Wet paper
Back
towel.
in my
Wet
day,
paper
we
towel,
had
glass
worse.
of water. What are you on about?
So Walks comes back to the party, looking a bit dishevelled. You can only just see his features, facial features beyond his helm. He looks young. The tips of his ears could say he's fair, elf, etc. But he has a youthful look about him.
Oh, you're rubbing it in.
What happened to you?
The same thing
That
that'll
does
happen
get
to
like
you
a
one
death
day.
glare. He pulls forth a small red potion. Will this help? Dalethin.
I'm just gonna look and go, rest. Rest will help.
Okay. I don't know what to do now. I don't know if we should keep hunting. I can't find any tracks. I can't even find tracks that they were here. They don't seem to have left any.
From.
You know, he turns on you immediately. Like, where?
It came from somebody loyal to the Lady in Red.
He swears in Sylvan.
Three of us will understand.
You will. And I won't repeat, in case young eyes are watching. But
It's past 9 o'clock.
see you next Tuesday. Comes to mind.
Can
Who?
Kess also have a wee scout about? Just
You can give
because
me a survival check.
after seeing how Walks fights, he's just wanting to have another wee look, just in case. Just in case.
Just double checking.
Walks looks to Harry. Who?
21.
21. Yeah, you
19 and 2.
you agree. You back him up. They don't seem to have left tracks. You look around where you lot had combat. You can see where your footwork and Dalethin's and Sandra's, etc. You can't see any foot prints of any others. So it seems the raids were
kind of like sapping in that seems to be around them. Like it's only
localized.
in this area.
It's completely
it doesn't
localized.
Seem...
When you reach towards the edge of this 80-foot diameter, you can see that it then goes off. It's almost like someone's literally got a cookie shape and just gone bang and put it there. That's all good undead do. Cookie shapes.
If we all have common knowledge that Griff's a paladin, right? That's been introduced, that's been explained yet.
Yeah.
Then I will message Griff and go, see if he can sense any unliving, and I will detect magic.
Cool.
See if
Griff.
we can pick up anything that's not obvious.
Griff senses, does divine sense. You all hear a very faint cry of some great bird in the sky, but it's not as piercing as it was in the city. When he opens his eyes, he responds to your message as you message him back, and says no, nothing.
Okay, I'm assuming detect magic confirms nothing sort of
Ari's
necromantic,
dagger
horrifying
and
in the area.
sword ping. Xandria's polearm doesn't ping. As an item, a magical item, it's kind of within. Yeah, it doesn't ping.
But it's still a magical force, though, yeah?
Yeah,
it's still a spell, effectively.
Yeah.
Okay. But no background necromancy, nothing in the trees,
Nothing. I mean,
like
you
that.
can sense there's been some left, like walking into somewhere and realising somebody had a barbecue a couple of hours ago. But there's no current flavour of magic pinging out. Walks is curved glaive pings as well.
Okay. When Griff relays this to me, I'll turn to Walks and go, it doesn't appear that there's any more living in the area. Not any sort of major magical effects in the area that I can tell.
Walks, looks down.
The area's probably clean.
He now turns back to Ari. Who are these loyal? You said they were loyal.
I'm loyal to, well, they're wearing the sash of the Lady in Red. She is one of the human rulers of the North.
Yeah, that's a bit of a brief panic moment. I need to find Kalain. Can you come with? I need to speak to Kalain. I can't speak to him from this distance.
Is it possible that he's made it back to safer grounds?
It is possible. I don't know what manner of attack happened to the east. We just know there was 2 incursions into the forest that were normally hidden from our eyes. Those of autumn, for some reason, we can't see when these attacks are happening. We normally know when those not of our forest enter. Even I'm nowhere near as potent as many of the others. I still know when people enter. I knew when you entered, but I do not know when these creatures are entering. And sometimes it's too late, and we're having to find ourselves in situations where we're fighting for our lives. He seems to be a bit more like panicky about it than Jezarit was.
Ariel keep the sash on the end of his sword and just kind of like holster his sword essentially. Just so they've got a sash with them but doesn't need to touch it.
Cool. So you're all stood in this decaying thing. Walks is wanting to leave to head east through the forest. It will be a trek through the forest rather than there's no portal area to go. So you'll be trekking through the forest of Copper. But you have the mighty Walks with you, so what could possibly go wrong?
Harry kind of like looks at Xandria like, we need to rest.
We can rest when we are in a safer area and potentially with Kalain.
Give me a con save, Zandria. Just flat.
19, so -1, 18.
Cool. You can feel the will to want to sit quite strong, but your pride and stubbornness carries you through when you don't buckle.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm going to go up to Zandria, pull out a single pearl in one hand, and place it top of the head and cast Gift of Alacrity.
And that does what, Delvin?
For the next 8 hours, you have 1d8 to initiative on top. It's the reason I roll so high. That way, if something happens, you'll be the first to react and either get out of the way or fight.
That was such a beautiful ICOC crossover. Take this ancient magic, so your dice are better. Smooth, Delphin, smooth. You feel that power, and you kind of stand up a bit straighter, and you feel it upon you.
Thank you, Delphin.
Is ready to boogie. He does not like being in the decaying area.
Before we head out, do any of you have any means of healing? Because if Bloodied is half health, then Kess is kind of looking like flaming shit right now.
Griff has a little bit of lay on hands. But
if he's willing.
Griff points at Dalefin for a message.
I will message Griff.
And Griff will say, I will only heal when dying.
Griff says that they'll only heal when you're actually in a danger situation. I will have a nudge Walks in the side and go, he probably needs that red bottle.
Yes, do you want it? And holds it out to Kesfield.
How bad's Ari looking?
Ari, how bad you looking? Give me a medicine check, Kes.
Oh god, that sounds like a thing that
Sounds like.
Oh no, it's wisdom. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wisdom's only averagely crap. That is a 16.
Cool. How bad you looking, Ari? Are you below half?
Yes.
Are you below a quarter?
Yes.
Ari's looking.
You're on 3, aren't you?
I'm on 3.
I mean, if you were a flaming shit, Ari's just looking shit.
If I got
Then
hit again, I would have been down.
he will take the potion and then he will pass it to Ari.
And the bonds grow. Ari, you are past a really deep red potion vial.
Are you sure? Can Zandria not use it?
No,
You don't
in the
use
state that she's in. Your need's greater than mine right now.
Give me a medicine check, Ari.
Boy. As I said, I better put no, 13.
You are fully aware that you don't know the extent of Kesfion's wounds, but you are aware that you are definitely in a worse off state.
I mean, that seems sensible, I guess. If you're sure, then I'll take it.
Do you neck it?
What do we? Yeah. What do we roll for a health potion? Or you're rolling?
I've just rolled.
Turns out it wasn't a health potion, it was
poison.
a potion of poison, and you are insta-dead.
You take 22 points of healing.
Oh, that's acceptable.
As you neck the potion, it is warm, fresh, you feel revitalised as you drink it. You have not ever felt it. It's like being incredibly thirsty and getting the most perfect cooled water with ice and a bit of cucumber, and you feel great. I don't have any more, so
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
I can
moving.
I can get us to the eastern attack where Kalane was going, but we will have to trek. Have you ever? I don't suppose you've ever trekked through. He looks at Ari. Ever trekked through a forest of the wilds?
No, I was taught to avoid it.
Believe nothing you see. Not everything here is nice. Despite being under the Jesuits' command and rule, that does not mean they obey lessers like me or you, no offence, and kind of looks at everyone. You obviously no longer hear the sound of oceans, Kespion.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Let us get a move on. The longer we stand here talking, the more time we're wasting getting to Claim.
Cool.
When we set off, I'm going to ask Walks how far and how long is it going to take us roughly?
Time is not a measurement here. We will walk. I know the direction. We will get there early enough, too late, on time. It's just how we travel here.
Okay. For my own personal mental bookkeeping, I'm going to try and keep some level of time because spells dependent on it. Sort of thing.
Cool. So you set off. You leave the decaying area, and as you do, it is a breath of fresh air walking into a crisp autumn forest. Very much akin to when it rains and you're stood a foot away from the rain falling, but you're in the dry bit. That's the sensation you get. As you step out of it, you turn around, you can see the decaying, you can remember the smell, but it does not pass the diameter of that area. And you are in an autumn crisp forest again. The birds are singing. There is still an element of passing breeze, as if you are listening in a seashell, where you get that strange echoing going round, passing through the trees and such. You can hear life as any normal forest you would, abundantly. Birds chirping, creatures rushing through the undergrowth, but you don't see any. It's just ambient to your travels through the forest. Walks, stays about 50 feet ahead of you, keeps looking over his shoulder, and then he turns in very strange angles rather than just weaving through the woods. He'll stop and go left, just straight left for say 20 feet, and then walk forwards again. But there doesn't seem to be any physical or visual object or anything in front of him that is making him do this. He's just decided. It turns out
will be keeping an eye on Ari and
Harry will be
Zandria.
following as closely as he can in terms of the directions, because he knows he's not supposed to go off the paths, and he's off the paths right now.
you are all well off the path.
Oh yeah.
So as you are making your way, trying to keep an eye on Walks, time does pass, or at least your bodies start to admit that time is passing. Zandria slows down a bit, but whenever anyone questions, she speeds up and keeps pace. Ari, you are a little bit stuck, like you're waiting to be tired. You don't understand why moments you do feel a little bit tired, and in other moments you're not too bad. Daelfin, the undisciplined nature of walking through here is annoying your spider sense, your focus. You will notice there has been no others around you since being in this forest. It's not the perfect zen moment you had when you held Samo's katana, but it is very much a place that is for some reason keeping that particular part of you at bay. Yep.
Yep.
And Zandria and Kess, not so much. Zandria, apart from the obviously physical side of things, you've walked in these forests of these Archfey before. If anything, since your gift, these walks are second nature to you, and you feel more in control within the forests of the Fae than you do outside them.
Yeah.
Kess, you can't seem to understand why you are tired every few seconds. It's like somebody reminding you you're tired, and then you realise, oh yeah, I am tired, and then you forget and you walk for a bit further. And it's not like every few feet, this is over a period of time. And then it's like, oh crap, I'm tired. But you can't quite seem to second wind yourself.
Yeah.
You just can't quite bring it up. You are now starting to feel, as time passes, the pull of how you would feel towards the end of an evening and wanting to rest. Hunger is strange here. It's almost suppressed, but you get to a certain point where you are very, very hungry. There are stories of people starving to death because of the tricks of the mind and such in these forests. Between you and Walks reminding you, it is indeed time to set up camp, as it were, in the forest. Zandria is definitely feeling it. Even her stubbornness now, her intelligence is taking over. Her common sense is taking over. That knowing a rest will bring her back to her full capacity. Walks suggests we have a camp. Yeah. So the surroundings hasn't changed for time of day. It is still chirpy birds, undergrowth creatures, a bright sky above the canopy, not that you can see a sun. It is like it's the middle of a bright autumn day. Leaves are crisp beneath your feet. Walks tries to find an area suitable enough for you all to kind of sit in, and he's going round this small, it's not a glade, it's just a opening where there's less trees, and he seems to be going around doing some sort of traditions rather than rituals, in a mundane way to ward off things. He seems to have herbs and such and small pieces of red clay in a pouch, and he's marking some of the trees and putting them out and about, whilst you guys are preparing how you would normally prepare for a camp. The camp is set. Walks, finishes his traditions and comes and sits with you. Here, eat these, and he hands out these berries similar to those you've seen druids give out, the dwarven druids, from Captain Boulderback and the Oaken Whale, and he passes out these good berries. They'll do you for the night. It's broad daylight as far as you're concerned. The night is dangerous. We must be alert and stay on watch. Now there is 6 of us.
I'm feeling really good. I'm happy to take watches and stuff like that.
I'm more worried about yourself, and nods towards Griff, and just assumes Kess is like the rest of us. We will only need a few hours to revitalise, but you will need the full stint of a rest. Just so you know. So how do you want to do it? I do not know how I've never worked with yourselves. I don't know how you wish to set up for the evening.
I can take first watch.
Alone?
To watch
No,
with
I'll
you.
take it as well.
Is
I'll
Kess
take
all
I'll
right
look
with
over
us?
at
If the two of you are comfortable and happy with it, then
So Dale and Zandria. I'll with the bird. If that's okay. No offence, Griff, was it? Griff nods. They'll take middle, which leaves Kess and Ari.
Oh.
So, the night comes on you really quick. You are sat, you eat the berries. It's not great. You have ration packs anyway that have just been picked up along the way. So you are aware that you can have a munch on your old dry meats and apricots. But
Easy.
yeah, you sit, you feel sleepy. Whilst you're just talking or having a drink or an eat, you just feel a bit drowsy, but sleepy drowsy, not poison drowsy. And you all slowly drift off to sleep, except Dale and Zandria. So Dale and Zandria, as you are sat there is but 10 seconds maybe pass from it being a autumn day to a cool, muggy autumn night. And it is as if someone has flicked a switch. Or at least used a very fast dimmer. And it gets dark real quick. There is a moonlight to the forest yet you cannot see this. You cannot see the moon above the canopy. The sounds around the place are very different. You can still hear the animal noises both in the air and beneath, but they seem more distant apart due to the sounds. Can you both give me perception checks, and then you will have time to do whatever you wish.
That's my natural 20 for the day.
On a perception check.
Fortunately, mine was not as good. Mine was only 14.
14. Delphin, what was your 20 what?
20.
Thousands.
Not a lot. 21.
Cool. So I'll let you know if your perception becomes relevant. Do you wish any talkie time?
I think Delphin's probably gonna give Xandria a bit of space. Mostly because the last time they had any proper conversation, it was with a sword.
That's true.
But is not adverse to being called over if needed. But other than that, it's going to be a quiet night.
Okay.
Xandria has no reason.
Cool. A period of time passes. It's hard again to judge. You make a guess that it's time to wake Griff and Walks. As you approach Walks, he sits up. You don't even get to wake him up, and he seems ready. Griff takes a bit more of a nudging, but then gets up groggily. While you were...
Yeah.
Go on, Delvin.
No, I was just going to say I was going to message Griff awake rather than forcibly
Oh,
doing
okay,
that.
okay. Whilst you are waking Griff and Walks, Xandria, you go about helping wake up Griff and Walks. Delphin, you hear a familiar fluttering and see the like the quick movement among shadows, that silhouette that doesn't quite match the backdrop. It reminds you of the night you spent on the way to Ravenhorn, on the way to Ebendorf, sorry, where you were attacked by the sky. But there's not, like there was last time, you know, hundreds of them, and there's just a fluttering, as if a couple of bats have flown past. But that sound of flapping and just the way they moved is very reminiscent of that night.
2 quick messages, one to Griff, one to Xandria. Exactly that thought.
Do you message Walks?
Yeah, go on.
Cool.
I was not gonna because I thought it'd be a bit intrusive to a Fae I've never met, but fuck it, why not?
Danger sense is going off. I tell the president and king and queen, I tell you that. So you message Xandria, Griff and Walks. Walks, as soon as he receives a message, goes, shh.
Oh no.
They are fine. They're fine. Just don't look in their direction. Sleep. Keep your eyes on the ground, and they won't bother you.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to kill us. Ari's gonna be licking everything.
Gonna start my reverie in a tree, bugger this, into a trance.
So Delphin goes into a trance. Xandria?
Similar.
Cool. Stuff happens between Griff and Walks. They become pals.
That does not surprise me.
Griff and Walks wake up Kess and Ari. But you kind of not woke up by them to deliberately waking you up. You wake up to the scuffling of leaves and such. Kess, you will wake a bit quicker, a bit defensively, but then quickly realise you actually see Griff showing Walks a couple of dance moves. Nothing major, just the basic steps, you know what I mean? But then you are awoken. It is almost pitch black. The shiny light of the moon doesn't seem to be about for your watch. Warx and Griff. Griff tries to explain to you about the flappy things of death, and repeats what Warx said about shh, just keep your eyes down. Warx obviously informs you of why Griff is mimicking his voice. There are creatures in the sky in the night that don't like, or in fact they like our flesh too much. But if you don't challenge them or aggravate them, you should be safe. Just keep your eyes down. Don't look up. And Warx lays down and basically chills out. Not needing another 4 hours, but just chills out. And Griff goes to sleep.
Oh. Perception check.
Yep.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's gravy time.
Oh,
Thank you
great time.
for the follow,
time.
Rito. Thank you very much for the follow. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong.
Nat 20.
Jesus, what was it with you on that 20s on perception checks?
Don't know.
So, what did you get total, Larry?
20.
Yeah.
19
Brilliant.
from Cass.
Still pretty bad. Excuse me. Just call me Ryan, it's easier. Thank you very much, Ryan. So it's pitch black, there's no light of the moon. You can still see your hand in front of you if you wave it. The sound of birds and animals gone. You can hear the fluttering of wings in the trees, in the treetops, in the canopy. Just out of your periphery, you can see the odd silhouette of movement move from shadow to shadow. A decent height up. They're not like on the ground, hiding behind trees or anything. And with your perceptions, you are very aware that they are all around you.
Cass is just going to go around, like, making sure his blades are cleaned and sharpened, etc., but mostly, like, listening.
Okay.
As opposed to, because he knows that they're to kind of not make eye contact with these things, so he's like mostly listening for things as opposed to, or like things that are kind of ground level as opposed to.
They come close to the point where you, for a moment, feel them within touching distance, and you can hear that just behind your head. But you stay strong. You don't have a quick peek. Ari, you notice that Kess is looking after his blades and such. You too can hear the all around you. You feel two very sharp points sort of just tip tap on your back, and you feel the hairs on the back of your neck go up. They are, and you can hear the all around you.
Kind of like sits like really, really tense and just like as soon as he feels them, he kind of wants to turn around, but he's like, no, it's probably a good thing he got warned.
Kess, as you are cleaning your blades, there is a goblet of drool just hits the blade as one of the creatures. You can hear the wings, they kind of slow beat. You can see the leaves moving around at your feet. It's quite a strange experience to say that they are flapping very slowly but maintaining flight.
Yeah.
You're in the forest of the Fae. There's no it doesn't panic you. But your time does pass. And these creatures go away. You don't get to see what they look like unless you really want to look. But you and then you can hear them further out now on the perimeter of whatever Warx was doing. They're that far out, a good 25-30 feet. Still in the trees, and you can hear the flapping. No other sound of any other creature, just those. You don't know how long passes at all, but what does happen is there are several beams of sunlight that come through the forest and through the canopy, and again it's the quickest sunrise you've experienced. as it is as if someone has just grabbed the dimmer switch and turned it to full, and this day is upon you, and you do feel as if you have all had a long rest. Xandria, you are still on 7 hit points, but your max has returned.
Oh, beautiful.
You still look like a raisin.
She does not.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
She feels sore, but
What's the reason?
yeah. So yeah, and the sound of animals and such return to the skies and the undergrowth beneath you, and Walks is up giving you more berries and such, and he just, is everybody okay?
Made it through the night. We're ready to head on out.
I'm hoping we reach Cullen today, or soon, or you know what I mean. Griff just looks really curiously eyed, like, what the fuck sort of night was that? And you have a bit of dried fruit breakfast, good old apricots take you through, and dried bananas that you get as kids, and you carry on through the forest. What you assume is half a day passes, and the only reason you think half a day passes is because your legs are hurting. You've been walking and walking. Again, Walks has got this real habit of stopping, just going straight right, walking in right angles. Then he'll climb a tree, and then he'll climb back down and come back on himself. You do get the feeling that you have to be incredibly skilled and knowledgeable of the area to travel quickly to your destination within this forest off the paths, which again is no surprise to Xandria and Kess. Delphin, you are Elven, but your experience with the Fey realm is limited. And Ari, your experience is don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Get that thing back where it came from, or still help me.
Yeah. Griff is pleasantly happy to listen to anything about the Fey realm. You see Griff listening every time Walks talks to you about stuff. Griff has never experienced the Fey realm, so this is good. There is a cry ahead of you of a beast in pain. Walks, stops, hears the cry, and bolts in that direction.
They'll follow suit.
Yeah.
And draw his scimitars.
Cool. So you follow Walks at a sprint through the forest. You are now in a skill challenge.
Great.
You are now rushing through the forest of copper. Walks is no longer guiding you. He's at a full sprint, completely concentrating on himself to get through. So you four, we'll leave Griff out of this, have to get through the forest of copper to wherever Walks is going. So,
oh goody.
So goody. As you are sprinting, you start hearing Kesfion. You start hearing cries of voices shouting, "Help! Help! 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 They're going to kill me! Help!" And they're from all around. Young, old, male, female, they. You can't determine who. Thank you very much for the raid, Daz300. Thank you very much.
Does he still have visual on?
You can still see Walks ahead of you. Give me a wisdom save.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That is an 18.
Yeah, you do. You hear the voices, but you shake them off. And as you start to shake off the help, you just hear a very strange guttural noise somewhere off to your right that has replaced those cries for help, and it becomes more real, more bite to it, and you shake off the cries. You keep running. You're chasing Walks. He's still ahead of you. Ari, give me a wisdom save as all those creatures from the night attack you during the day and they come fluttering towards you. There is an absolute repeat of the scene on the road to Ebendorf, and they just come diving in. What did you?
That was a good roll.
Five.
You rolled a 5. You see Kesvion get torn apart. Dalefin's head gets torn from his shoulders. Xandria, you see her scream fire, and these dark-skinned creatures with their like oil skin, where it was like tar dripping off them, just go through the fire unfazed by it and through Xandria. You hit the deck and you start screaming your head off. Kes, Delphin, and Xandria, you see Harry on the floor screaming his head off, like night terror screaming.
I instantly drop down to Harry, and I kind of grab a hold of his shoulders and I start shaking him. And I'm, Harry, get out of it, Harry! You're not with it! And then I slap him across the face.
You can hear Xandria's voice, but all you can see is these bird-like creatures, their tar-like skin dripping off them, just tearing apart Delphin, Kesvion, and Xandria, and Griff. Delphin, whilst this is happening, give me a wisdom save. Sawdust is exactly that, mate.
16.
16?
Oh, man.
Cool. Running towards you is a feline creature with 2 heads, a striped body of greens and whites. Yep. The heads are just drooling some sort of bloody claret saliva that's just dripping onto the floor, and they are bounding towards you, just moving through the trees. They leap at you. You pull forth your rapier, and they just poof, and thousands of butterflies of oranges and reds just whoosh, and fly off into the sky. All this while you are trying to move around. Ari, you are pulled to your feet, and you are dragged along, still screaming your head off. But you can feel the physical grip on you as they're pulling you along. But all these flying creatures around you are still diving in and out. You're so confused as to how you are being pushed forward by something, but you can't see any of the people you came in here with. You're just running through this cloud of these creatures flying in and out at you. Xandria, give me a wisdom save.
Oh boy. Wisdom should be quite good. I get +4 in this.
So.
Natural 20!
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Cool. Straight in front of
24.
you. Straight in front of you, you hit a wall of something, and you are stopped.
How dare you?
Immediately in front of you is Kesvion, and he's helping Ari run, and Delphin. You shout them, but there's no sound. It's like you're muted. They can't hear you. They don't react. You see Ari just fall away from Kesvion. You see Delphin fall away from Kesvion. Just disappear, just fall out of view. You don't know where. Griff, fall out of view. Kesvion's just running. You see Kesvion running towards a body of water. Kesvion leaps into the body of water and comes out riding a wave. And then you sort of shake, and you've still got out of Harry, and you kind of trundle forward. Delphin, Griff, Kesvion's still there. Nothing bad.
Sorry, I just saw Kess as Aquaman. That's fine.
Yep, pretty much. That's all.
I'm going to continue, slapping Harry and yelling at him while striking. By the way.
Cool.
She's enjoying that too much.
I was going to say she's enjoying it. Yeah.
As I'm walking, I'm just like, I got a 200 gold bottle of wine on your name. Walking.
I've never seen a face slap a human with a 25-foot pole arm.
The pole arm's not with me. The pole arm's gone.
So Ari, you can now have a wisdom save with advantage and a black eye.
Bust lip.
That would be an 18.
Yay!
Cool. So you snap out of it, and you take 6 points of psychic damage during that escapade. Don't forget, after a long rest, you've got all your hits back, except Andrea. Because, she likes hard mod.
Yeah.
And then
I think this is now in nightmare mode. For
you can refocus on walks, and you see walks ahead of you by about 40 feet. You don't know how long you've been running, and all these things have happened to you over a fair amount of time. You're all sweating, you're all panting, even through your mighty constitutions, Alexandria. You are able to almost keep pace with walks. he goes bursting through a wall of thorny hedges that stand out like they do not belong in this autumn forest. This wall of hedges has got a start and an end, like someone has summoned a wall of thorns. He just bursts through this wall of thorns. You hear this cry of this beast again, and as you burst through it, there is a bear that is about 10 feet tall, covered in these strange druidic glyphs all down its back. It is of a white and yellowy gold colouring to its fur, and on top of its head there is a mass of braided blonde hair that comes down the back of it. In front of it, it is fighting a humanoid plate armoured wearing somebody. This plate armour is like grey stone in colour. It is polished, well crafted. It is completely like great helm, pauldrons, vambrate. Like there is no physical view on anything other than armour in front of it. It has a great hammer in its hand and it is fighting this bear. The bear has got strange coloration of purples and blues on certain parts of it, and you can see this grey stone plate armoured warrior with this two-handed hammer just beating on this bear, the bear swinging back. They are both in this fight. Roll initiative. Chat, I've just put music back up to let me know if it's still on. Right. Kess, what did you get?
22.
22. Zandria?
18.
18?
Yep.
Cool. Tailfin?
20.
20. Griff? Jeez. Harry?
19.
Oh, it's almost like a nice little cascade of numbers.
Go on, Colleen. You can't write this shit. So, as you five go running into this area, you can see this ginormous white and gold bear fighting this heavy armoured warrior. Where the warrior is pottering around, it seems where they stand, the same sort of decaying effect is happening as to where you were just a day or two, you don't know how long ago. And it seems to be following them around, and you can see on the floor that they've clearly been fighting across this area, and there is this almost zigzagging, decaying path around the area wherever this warrior seems to have walked and stood. The bear and the warrior go at the same time, and they both clash into each other. Two massive claws come slamming down into this armoured entity and just scratch across its armour. Then the jaws come down and bite across its pauldron, and you can see the pauldron bend ever so slightly. If it's damaging this entity, it is not showing any pain or thingy. Whilst it's doing that, two massive hammer blows land into the bear's ribs, and you hear across the area where you come running in loud cracks as if ribs have been hurt quite badly. Kess, you react next. You are 30 feet from this fight. You've gone rushing in. This is not a big glade. It's just an open area similar to your campsite among a few trees. You are all easy enough to rush into this thing. You can hit the bear, or you can hit the thing. You can hit where you want, to be fair.
I am going to hit the thing that's got the spooky necrotic stuff everywhere it steps, because that seems like he's not a smart man, but that seems familiar, and
He's not a man, he's a machine. So, Kess, you go flying in, scimitars spinning.
I'm gonna go. That is my 21 to hit.
Cool. As you rush towards it, on reaction, the armoured creature puts its hand out to you. Give me a Constitution save.
Cool. That is... Oh, it's not Constitution. That is also 21.
Cool. Whatever it hit you with, or tried to hit you with, you just feel this surge of energy rush over you. It actually moves you back 5 feet, but doesn't knock you prone. So you actually lose 5 feet on your movement. You're still able to get there. And then you hit. You swing with your scimitar?
Yup. That is +3. And you know what? Let's just ditch another superiority dice to do shenanigans with. And so that is 12 points of damage total.
12 points of damage?
Yup.
Cool. As you get off. There you go, sorry. What did you roll to hit?
That was 21.
21, was it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yep, you hit. As you feel your sword, it does indeed slash, and you feel it just under the armpit to make connection with some sort of flesh, maybe, but it's definitely softer than the armoured shell on the outside.
Cool. And then with his offhand.
Yep.
Oh boy, he misses.
How badly?
He misses quite. Almost, you could say, critically. Misses. That's a 1.
Cool. On your nat 1, you slip and almost fall, like you bang into the armour. And as you bang into the armour, you take 4 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, nice.
As it
That's what I
burns
like.
your face.
That's good. That's necrotic damage all up in my face.
Yeah.
That's where you want it. That's a good place to have.
You feel if you'd have just missed, you'd have been alright, but the fact that you slipped in a critical failure sort of way, whilst in melee range, didn't help you.
Yep. Didn't help.
So that's Kess. We now have Dalefin.
Seeing Kess go for the armoured warrior, I will start the blade song, charge him behind him, pull the short sword, and carve across this thing's back with green flame blade.
Green flame blade, go.
14 on the roll, so 19.
19 to hit. Your short blade hits the armour and scratches across it, but doesn't take purchase enough to damage.
Understood. That's me.
Does that dissipate your green flame, or does it remain until you land?
No, it's just a one-hit strike.
Oh, it's part of the hit. Okay, yep, cool.
Yeah.
So that's Dalefin. It's actually Ari's turn next. This is definitely in combat with more than one person, so you still get sneak attack because it's in combat, but you obviously don't get you don't care about the one-on-one thing.
No, but would I still get sneak attack if I was flanking? Because that would be
Yes, so you get sneak attack on 3 occasions. You have advantage on the attack, one of your mates is in combat with it, or you're fighting it by yourself, and you've got at least 3 of your pals fighting it.
Yay! So many pals are fighting it. Right, I'm going to try a rapier strike then.
So you go running in, rapier stab.
Yup. 16?
16, your rapier, you try to pierce the armour and it bends on the armour, but doesn't break. Or it is a magical rapier that you are unaware of.
That I am unaware of. In that case, then he'll be like, kind of miss and then just try with his dagger.
With the dagger, cool.
With the binder. Well, that's a better roll. So that, it's +2 though, so 18.
Your dagger stabs into the armour again and you see a spark come off as you scratch the armour, but you don't. That is your full movement, you are in combat with it. So you're in combat, you swung twice. Zandria. There is some sort of great hammer wielding creature of death beating up lots of people.
Yeah. So I take it, is there like us and then say we're behind Cullen and the things in front, or are we like seeing them side by side?
Side by side.
Side by side.
Ish,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay, in that case, I am going to use Eldritch Blast on the creature.
Yeah! Booyah!
Hopefully push it.
For the viewers, it's been 8 sessions. Xandria's a warlock, and this is the first Eldritch Blast we've seen.
Seconds.
Seconds.
But it's the
Second?
first
Yeah.
anyone else has
That
seen.
people have seen, yeah.
Yeah.
The first public Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. Ooh, 19 plus 4, so 23.
Your Eldritch Blast does indeed hit.
Throw me a d10, folks. Not bad. 9 points of force damage, and it is pushed 10 feet away.
It does not move.
You... what?
It doesn't move.
You what?
Your Eldritch
Literally, just hit it!
Your Eldritch Blast hits it. There is a cacophonous sound. We'll go with that. Pronounced right. And it, as it hits the akin to the hammer hitting metal, to be fair, and there is no, it just resists it.
Literally, this is Andrea's face, just
That's not supposed to happen.
like, this doesn't normally happen. Okay. Well, that's me done. Just gonna be like,
Walks will hide in the shrubbery nearby, just like literally disappear. Launch an attack.
what could he buy?
Walks as his go. Griff will launch a Shield of Faith onto Ari. So Ari, you've got +2 AC.
Nice.
And Griff will actually stay out of the fight, ready to do supporty things just in case, rather than be a target.
I understand they're playing Holy Paladin
Yep.
rather than tank or DPS.
The white gold bear and the armoured, we'll go with knobhead, is they clash again, very similar at the same time, but the bear, Lane.
Yeah, good, bro.
So Kalane's bite sinks into the pauldrons again, the same pauldron that you bit before. One of the claws comes across and slashes against the armour-wearing knobhead. But Kalane's left claw, you can see the fur on his paw burn as he hits the armour in a similar way to you burnt. Guess we are.
Cool.
You can already see wounds on Kalane. You're experienced enough in combat. Kalane looks the worst of the two when you guys arrived.
Oh, great.
Oh no. Don't die on us, Lancelot.
Here's
We
your
already have
lance.
high expectations of you. We thought you were done, you had a Starbucks, you painted your nails, put RuPaul's Drag Race on. None of these things appear to be true.
The armoured creature hits Kalane. It doesn't hit Kalane. It is a whopping hit. You hear a crunch as the hammer hits Kalane's shoulder, almost like it's dislocated the shoulder. Its other attack, it will see Kespion,
Oh, good. That's what I wanted.
pause, and then slam its hammer towards you.
Don't be
Great. I
suspicious.
love that.
I am
is so much
shocked,
armor.
but I think it missed. 15.
That is his AC.
That is. That's brilliant.
Face. I thought you had an I have.
No, we have the
16.
same AC. I
Yeah.
have really crap AC for a fighter. I'm
That's
basically a rogue.
Yeah.
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's what I wanted. And how much necrotic? I might as well just ask just now.
1.
Oh.
Cool.
1.
That's
A single point on the bloody.
spicy. To say bloodied,
Being understatement.
correct.
It's your turn, Caspian.
Get him, Care. For I cannot
That's
help.
more like it. Right, that is 22 to hit.
You hit.
That is 5. You know what? Last superiority dice. Screw this guy. That is 13 points of damage on that one. And that is 21. Oh no, wait, it's not. That's 13 plus 3, because I forgot to add my plus 3, so that's 16 points of damage. I am the worst. So that is 21 on the offhand, which is 6 plus 3, which is 9.
9.
Nine.
It helps when I remember how to D&D.
Cool. So Caspian again. Your scimitars are spinning as you slash into it. This will move on to Delphin now.
Is there a point where I can effectively flank this guy
Yes.
with one of the other two?
Yes.
I will move to that point.
Yep.
Bonus action, summon katana. One with just one in the back, with one in the side with the katana.
Cool. So advantage.
Okay.
Highest was a 21.
Oof. You just it.
That's 6. 13 psychic damage. Let's say shadow damage.
Boom. Yep. There is a that comes from the armoured warrior when you hit it.
He wants to turn round and hit Delphin on his next turn. He gets.
Ari, you're up.
Yeah, we're gonna try with the rapier again.
Now Delphin has moved himself. You two have advantage.
Let's roll some green boys instead. Let's see if you're any better for me today. Oh, 2 12s. Okay, delightful. Thanks for that. 17 to hit.
Your rapier, you just slip off the metal without getting any purchase.
We'll try the dagger then. Let's try 2 other daggers. $19 with advantage.
Oh, no, unfortunately. So you're clang, 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 clang. Are you staying in there?
No, he's getting the heck out.
Cool. You don't provoke an attack of opportunity.
I can't dodge.
Goddamn swashbucklers. Xandria?
They don't fit. They don't fit anymore.
Really don't know what I want to do.
I'm a firing the laser.
Firing my yeah, I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast it again. Why the hell not?
You can do all the warlock stuff now.
I mean, I could do the Warlock stuff before, but you know.
I know, but we know about it now.
Yeah. There's a 16 hit.
It does not.
Oh, what could he buy then?
19 didn't hit.
So it hits. It does hit him. It just
21,
doesn't.
I
It
think.
just dissipates.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered.
Caspian
No.
is perceptive.
Not okay with this.
Xandria,
It's,
are you doing anything else?
I don't have any. I don't have bonus actions.
This is the first time I've seen Xandria like, this is shit.
It's just like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm just gonna turn around like, yeah, you can deal with your own problems. I'm going back to the desert.
Walks will disappear into behind the trees and fire.
taking it
It's also missed.
from that noise, he did really well.
Well, he did
It was
well.
a nat
enough
20.
It wasn't a nat. It wasn't a nat. but you did get 24. So.
Oh, he hits it. That's something.
Nice. That's nice for him.
Good.
Come through, Walks. Come through.
You just see an arrow. You see Walks reappear and an arrow shoot, and it just stick beyond where the pauldron meets the chest piece. It does not look phased by the arrow from Walks. Griff will hold.
Oh,
I thought that was it. Just Griff will hold.
Griff will make sure he is within 30 feet of the fight.
That's wise.
But essentially wait, and if one of you lot drops, we'll run in and get you back up.
Wise bird. Maybe Griff should have been an owl.
Right, it is now Culane and the warrior's turn. Culane will bite and claw. Nat 20 on the bite for Culane.
Go, Lancelot, go!
On the right claw. Misses. On the left claw. Hits with the left claw. Oh, this is going to be beautiful.
I really hope for Culane's sake it is.
So
really hoping.
As Culane, just this 10-foot bear, just like comes down onto the armoured warrior, who you realise is about 7 feet tall. Now you're stood there in front of it. It is a very, very large armoured warrior. The claws come ripping in, and you see Culane's claws disappear as they sink into the armour and cut. And then his jaws grab hold of the helm, and you hear the as the metal gets bent in on the face of whoever is wearing it. On that, the armoured warrior runs backwards. Yep. On its turn, it will step out of the fight. So Ari, all of you. So Ari, Dale, Finn, Kesfion, and Culane all get a swipe. Oh god.
That
Culane.
is 22.
Oof, you hit.
9.
You miss. Culane missed.
21.
You hit just.
Yeah.
And that is 9 points of damage.
Cool.
Because I remember to add on my 3.
Ari?
12 points of damage.
12? 12?
I
You
won't
don't get a sneak attack on this now. Jesus, I was like, I want that rip.
Jesus. No, I'm stupid. 7.
Still pretty well. Cool.
For that.
Its hammer, it will then just hold, it'll pull a dagger from its hip, and the dagger has got a curve to it and then a hook on the end. So it sort of curves, and then it's got just a very ugly looking hook. And it slashes in behind it, and you can see, like you would cut leather or something like suede or skin, and it flaps, and you can actually see them cut through the material plane and the flaps of the forest. It's a very strange, it's like they've cut a canvas painting behind them, and it's very surreal to see like the copper forest, and it's not easy to describe, but it looks like they've cut the canvas of the forest and they just step through, and there is just the couple of trees behind you just look absolutely obliterated, like they've been smashed, cut, bled their life sap onto the ground, and there are just flaps hanging in midair of where they've cut through the fair realm into the material realm.
Is it possible to see what's beyond it?
Give me a perception check.
Give me a second. Please don't sneeze. Please don't sneeze.
Sorry.
You failed.
That is what is my perception +2? That is an 18.
You see a hall which is cylindrical, going away from this cut canvas type thing. The metalwork of this hall has got a very ash grey colouring to it, and it just goes away from you, and you can see that armoured warrior running up the hall, and there are lit torches all the way along the hall, and there is some sort of heavy door at the far end, but you just see it every now and then as the flaps go. It is.
Do we follow?
It's entirely up to yourselves. It's your turn, Kes.
How far away is it?
From you is about
Yeah.
20 feet, 25 feet. He literally, or they literally, ran away from the fight and then zapped out of there. They didn't look injured. They were just running from the fight.
Okay, they didn't look like it was a...
It wasn't a... It didn't appear, through your perception, it didn't
Yeah.
appear like they were a wounded animal running. It appeared like they'd made the decision not to fight anymore. Gonna have to hurry you up, lad.
No. I think he'll get to the edge and he'll stop.
Cool. I will ask you all right now, does anyone go leaping into that?
Nope.
Cool. You're all out of initiative. That happens. Walks comes running over to this massive bear. As you turn around, you see the bear shrink back down to Kalane's form, golden white armour, dinted, scratches across it, beaten from the hammer in places. His right arm is hanging limp. He's trying to keep his arm as close to his body as he can whilst holding his ribs. His helmet is off to one side now that the scuff of the fight is gone. Excuse me. You can see blood stained in his blonde braids. One of his eyes is swollen. He's definitely been in a scrap. His lance now in his hand. He's using it now as he's holding his ribs as a very long walking stick. Kind of comically, as it's straight up in the air like a bit of a flagpole, as he's using the lower half to use as a walking. He simply looks at you lot. I need rest. And we'll call it there. End of session, kids. It's 11 o'clock. Well, it's 10 past 11, so we don't want to be going mental. Yeah, so well done. Thank you very much for those that watched. If you watched from the beginning, great stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube or you come back to Twitch and watch the VOD, thank you very much. I hope you've really enjoyed it. It was cool. We've had a few sessions that were a bit more urban intensive and talky and investigative. It was cool to get out and have a smash. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. If you do go onto our social medias and our YouTubes and you watch them, please give us a like or a comment. Feedback's great. We've got some new overlays coming out. Next week we're going to have hopefully some little character stats so you can see the players' classes and levels and stuff like this, and that'll be cool to have a look at. Thank you very much to all our sponsors. Remember, you've got Ruffworx Creative, go find them on Facebook. You've got Ishana, go find her on, I believe, let me check. She may be streaming right now.
She is
She is indeed streaming right now, so we would also like to raid her before we go. But thank you very much for watching. It's great. It's cool to have a community. It's cool to have people in chat asking. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you like the background music, go check out Syrinscape. They're really cool. If you do, let them know Heavyweight sent you. It doesn't get you anything, but who knows in the future, they might sponsor us. So yeah, thank you very much, players. Hopefully we'll have Kate back with us next week. And you can see a bit more Griff cracking on, and we'll pick up and see what happens with Kalane and the the fight. Yeah, so I'm going to end the stream now, guys, but stick around please so we can raid, and I thank you very much. Stay safe, stay
It's
sane.
gravy time.
Guy Veresk, I'm probably pronounced that wrong. Thank you very much for the last minute follow there. Take care of yourselves and say goodbye, players.
Goodbye, players.
Yes.